Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be how you can add fonts and how to work with fonts in general in Linux. And this is from the desktop approach. So I'll start out by just going into the font viewer from the desktop. So you'll see I just went into the menu. Let me actually blow this up a little bit. And we're just going to go in the menu and we're going to go into accessories. Boy, it's hard to find stuff when you're, and you'll see here there's fonts. And this is basically the font viewer. So it'll take it a second, at least on my computer, to load up all the fonts and show you what you got. Show me what you got. Sorry. And you'll see I've got a few custom fonts installed that are mine and some that are just with the system. So let's walk through adding a font first. So I had the font viewer up, but if I didn't, and I went into a font, so I have some here, and I have Minster, so I'm going to click on the first one, and you'll see that it pops it up in that same viewer, and there's an install icon. So I'm just going to click on install here, and you'll see that it just, oops, there we go, it's installed. So now that is instantly available, well, not instantly, like I noticed I did need to restart LibreOffice Writer to get it. But if you restart LibreOffice, you'll see that, what did I call that one? So that was Minster 6. We installed Minster 1. So let's see if there's Minster 1. And once I learn alphabet, there's Minster number 1. So my new font is now installed, even though apparently it's really tiny at 12 point. But there it is. So that's my new font. So that worked out well, and that's true of GIMP or anything, or Inkscape or any of the big programs. Installing it this way will allow it to be shown there. So if you want to get it from the menu, or no, I showed you from the menu. So the menu, let me show it again in context so it's not zoomed. So it's accessories and then fonts right there. Now from the command line, I think we can do it. So even though this is not a command line install, I think it's a user bin and then it's font. Oops, font. I think font. Oh, it's gnome-font-viewer. There we go. So that'll launch. Oops. So that'll launch it the same way. Let's close it so it doesn't. So it does do a singleton launch. It doesn't it doesn't give you multiple windows. Now on the downside to get rid of a font, so let's pick one that I know I won't use. In my humble opinion, there's way too many fonts installed. And some of them just look so much the same. Tell me the difference. All right, that's oblique. All right. I don't know. All right, Gubby. I'm not going to use this. I'm pretty sure. So how do I get rid of this? How do I uninstall it? Well, it's in a folder. I think it's user share. So let's find that. I'm gonna bring up a folder. Let's bring it over here, and let's do user share, and I think it's fonts. So it's pretty straightforward as to where it is. So user share fonts. There we go. So we have a bunch of fonts. Now if you try to just go in and delete it, you're going to run into trouble. So this is, what one did I want to get rid of? Gubby. So let's say I go in and I try to find Gubby, and I look, and you'll see the cut is not permissioned and delete is not as well. And if we do properties and look at permissions, you can see this is root only. So we have to open this file with elevated permissions. So if we do a right click on the true type font, we can do open as root. So let's do that zoomed up so you can see, and you'll see open as root, and I got to put a password in. So let me do that, and then I'll show you can just delete that. So now we have our elevated privileges, as you can see, and I'll go to Gubby, and goodbye Gubby. It was nice knowing you. You have a fun name, and so that's that. And now let's go. I don't know if we have to, if it'll reload right away. And yeah, it does. So that's gone. So you can clean up your font list a little bit with stuff you don't need, but you have to. It has to be very explicit. You have to do elevated permissions. So that would be the same thing I could do. I think you got to do GKSU, or let's just try SU and user bin gnome-font-viewer. SO. So, no password entry for user. Oh, not SU. Sudo. Sometimes my brain shuts down while I'm doing these live, these recordings. Things that you do automatically. So, yeah, so, well, that's, yeah, so it doesn't have the delete option anyway, so that doesn't do us anything. So even if you're, right click on it or whatever, or maybe it does. Nope. Installed. Nope. Info. Nope. Yeah, so you have to, you pretty much have to go into the file folder to delete the font, which may be good because, I mean, you could do sudo, and I think you could just do nemo, and then the font folder. So it's user share fonts, and I mean that's pretty much the same as elevated privileges. So that's the exact same thing if you want it from the command line, or you can just change it in sudo and delete it in the command line. But anyway, that's it for this. I hope this helps you out. Have a great day.